What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Much like my last video where I talked about the 3 best classes to use in CODA, I'm going to go over my opinion of 3 of the worst. Now, keep in mind this is my opinion. There might be more classes that are pretty bad, but this is just my list. I'm curious to know what you would pick as bad classes in CODA. You know, very interesting to hear your guys' thoughts. But I'm just going to categorize something because I'm not gonna, the whole list would just be 3 of these, but pretty much any beast or monster is not CODA viable just due to the scaling. You could use them maybe at the beginning, but eventually they're just not gonna hold up when you're fighting level 60-70 enemies, except maybe dragons. We can maybe make an exception for dragons early on, but I think almost every beast would be a no-go. So I don't want to just pick 3 beasts and call it a video, you know, so just be aware of that. You know, they just don't scale anymore, really, because you can't level them up. That's where all their stats come from. They can't wear gear, so that is why they're kind of meh. Now, this one might be a little bit of a shocker to some people as a class I don't recommend in CODA, and maybe that's just because, I don't know, I just think there's way better options, and that's gonna be like a warrior. I think if you're still using a warrior in CODA, I just think you're missing out on so many good classes that are just better, you know? Sure, warrior can be fun, it can be useful, it falls off over time just because of its lack of mobility, its over-reliance on MP with mighty impact and double impact. You got some finishers that are good, you know, vigorous attack is nice. It just, you need MP generation, and you have no way of getting it other than getting smacked and smacking things. And they're slower, and if you're running around with a warrior and you're auto-attacking 2 to 3 turns a time, you're just not really getting the value. If you're able to mighty impact like every other turn, you could maybe argue it, or double impact every other turn, but you know, these are 40 MP, so that it's just not consistent. The warrior's not consistent for like damage. You need damage. If the warrior is attacking something level 60 or 70, it needs to be able to kill it quickly, and it, you know, with certain gear, possibly, but there's just better options. There's just better options. And it pains me for this one as well because I really like this class, but it's just not good, like, because of the damage dealing potential you need, and that's the archer. I feel like the archer falls off too in CODA to an extent, just due to the fact, well, they're different now than they were before, and you know, you got your tremendous shot, but your archer is pretty much going to be a debuffer. You know, that's kind of what you turn the class into, a range debuffer, by using a certain bow that has a debuff you want to apply. The problem with the archer and any debuff class is eventually debuffs become kind of redundant. You know, debuffs become kind of useless later on, because why spend a turn doing a debuff when I could do a third of the unit's HP and damage, or half the unit's HP and damage, and then take it out with another unit? You know what I mean? So that's why debuffs kind of fall off, because most debuffs don't do damage, and the ones that do, like poison and stuff, there's such a time, you gotta wait for it to do its full effect, and you need to be killing stuff as quickly as possible in CODA, because you are severely outnumbered. Sometimes there's like 20 plus units on the enemy team, and you can't mess with that. So that's why the archer, like I said, falls off, because debuffs don't matter as much. So these are my choices. These are my 3. You know, there's probably a couple more I could have mentioned on here easily, but I find these 3 to be the most. And obviously monsters are just a whole generalization, monsters and beasts. But let me know what you guys think, which ones you prefer to be the worst. Or maybe you like an archer and a warrior in CODA. Let me know. I mean, how do you use them? Is there like some magical trick you got? We'd love to hear it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, later guys. Peace out. Have a good one.